Hey there, fellow Deviants. Welcome back to my channel, Crimson Dahlia, where we are cultivating an inclusive approach to health, healing, and wellness in a safe space. On my most recent podcast, Standard Deviation, I went into a story time about the time I was caught a disappointment by my father, and I was able to connect that incident to how, as a child, there was this expectation that I would do everything right, even if I was never given the tools to be successful. And when I did not succeed, I was essentially ashamed and criticized for not knowing better. I then challenged you all to self-reflect on your adult behaviors and see if there's any connection to your childhood. I wanted to follow up on that episode with a few journaling prompts to get you started. I have found journaling to be a way and to create that safe space for self-expression and self-exploration. It's a good way to help identify those root causes of stuckness and negative thought patterns and behaviors. Particularly those of us in the African American community, we tend to be therapy averse, right? There is still a stigma, unfortunately, in seeking help when we're talking about emotional and mental well-being. And as I stated in the episode, we tend to think of words like trauma, neglect, abuse, toxic as something that has to be extreme in order for it to be valid. And when we have adverse experiences that don't fall into these specific parameters, we tend to dismiss, even shut down our very valid feelings about that event or experience. Talk ourselves out of believing it wasn't as bad as it was, and that we're being too sensitive. Now, if you need to go back and watch the episode, I will link it below along with the timestamps that goes right into the story time and then the reflections where I issued the challenge. And now, here we go with the prompts for your consideration. First question. How did your family react to when you expressed any form of emotion unrelated to being disciplined? 2. How did your family respond to your report cards, regardless of the grades on the paper? What was the general feedback, if any? Okay, now the third journal prompt has several questions just based on previous answers, so I saved this one for last. And the first part is, what did you want to be when you grew up? An athlete, a musician, a singer, a writer. What was that dream you had as a child? And are you doing that thing right now as an adult? And if you're not, what are the reasons that you're not doing it? The second part of that same prompt is, now, did you tell your family about this dream, this thing you wanted to be when you grew up? And how did they react to it? What did they say or not say? Were they supportive? How did they encourage or support you if they were? And if you are doing the thing you said you wanted to be when you grew up, in what ways and by whom are you being supported now as an adult? And is your family a part of this particular support system? And what are their views regarding that childhood dream of yours now? Okay. I hope these prompts are of help to you, especially if you find yourself doing the door stare out into the ether or onto a blank page. Please drop your thoughts and feedback to the comments. It helps me out immensely as I develop this channel to continue to create content that is helpful to your health and your healing journey. I believe that we all deserve to know just how good healing looks on us. Till next time, Deviants. Talk soon.